Hello, everybody. It is the new week. That means it's a brand new episode of Dodgers Territory. We are your hosts for the next 30 and change. Alanna, Rizzo, Clint, Pasillas with you now. Great to have you guys with us. Join the chat. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars, like and subscribe to Dodgers Territory, Foul Territory, all the things. Looking forward to having Bill Shaikin on the show, columnist for the LA Times. He's going to be joining us momentarily. By the way, Clint, we have merch, not just Foul Territory merch, but we have Dodgers Territory merch, everybody. You can now support us. Those of you that love our show, we appreciate you. Go to DodgersTerritoryShop.com or click the store button here on YouTube and support the show in style. We love it. Got to get one of those hoodies. Got to get the quarter zip for the front office. You got to love that. Drink your morning coffee out of that. Go on a weekender. There's the hat, all the things, everything you could possibly want with Dodgers Territory. We have it. All right, Clint, let's get to it. The big ticket.
Let's do it.
Your take on the Dodgers taking 2 or 3 from the Nationals, the lowly Nats.
The lowly Nats. Listen, Dodgers take 2 or 3. You feel good every time the Dodgers go out there and win a series, but I felt like it was pretty important for them to at least win the series. Ideally, you sweep, but like you said, lowly Nats. You got to sweep or beat the lowly Nats after an emotional series against the Padres. What's your take on that?
I agree with you. This is a team that you absolutely have to beat. I'll take the series win. You would have liked the sweep, but I'll take the series win. By the way, happy birthday, Jen. Sorry that there's no game on your birthday. What the heck are you going to do? No game on your birthday? Oh, man. It's important to take the series win against this team, obviously. I feel like the Nats have been in a rebuild mode with Mike Rizzo in that front office for quite some time. And obviously, they've not been the same since Juan Soto was traded, since Bryce Harper was gone, Max Scherzer, Trey Turner, all of the things. But you needed to, and our boy Max Muncy, friend of the program, coming up large as far as coming off with offensive numbers for Max Muncy against the Nationals. 201 career homers as a Dodger, and number 200, Clint, was a grand frickin' slam.
He had himself a day. So I was at the ballpark yesterday, able to witness the glory that was Maximum Muncy hitting 200 and passing 200, 201, 7-run batted in day with the grand slam, followed by the 3-run homer 1 inning later. And as you see on the stat or on the screen there, 22 days in between having another 7 RBI game, which is the fewest number of days between games since 1951 or whatever it is. Listen, I didn't really read the stat before I put it on the screen, but the point is Maximum Muncy going off there. And I want to ask the question. I want to pose the question to everybody. We already posted it on social medias as well, but I do wonder, are we at a point now where we could officially call Max Muncy a Dodger legend? I want to touch on that in a second, but first, people thankfully are showing up to the ballot box when it comes to the All-Star Game voting. Dodgers showing up pretty nicely. What do you think about this? Max Muncy, second in voting in terms of third base voting for the National League All-Star team.
You know what I think is the most amazing thing about this is that there's been so much talk about whether Max should even be as a third baseman. Obviously, they do it based on where the player is to open the season. I want to be very clear on that. So if Max Muncy decides that he's getting a ton of reps at second or at first, or he's just the DH or whatever, the ballot is set with where they are position-wise to start the season. But he's been really good at third base. He's been very helpful being able to kind of move all over the middle of the infield, first, second. We haven't seen him in short yet, but first, second, and third for Max Muncy. But no, I think this guy, if you look at where he ranks, Clint, and you did such a good job pointing this out on our call, if you look at where Max Muncy ranks in terms of franchise history, not just when they were in LA, but I'm talking way back when they were in Brooklyn, look at where he is, 8th among all time in terms of home runs for the team, for the franchise. Even back in the day with Duke Snider and Gil Hodges. I mean, he's not even that far away. He's 69 away from Eric Karros. If you look at what he's done, not only in franchise history, but more importantly, this is kind of where the legend status comes in, Clint. If you look at what Max Muncy has done in the postseason, as far as home runs is concerned for the Los Angeles Dodgers, you might be surprised at who he's tied with. Corey Seager and Justin Turner. That's unbelievable to me. 13 there at the top. Lucky number 13. I'd say that's kind of legendary status. I mean, some say, some people stop motion hooray is saying Max Muncy's not old enough to be a Dodger legend. I don't know that it has to be number of years or age, but I mean, what he's done as a member of, remember this kid was sitting on the couch with no job.
That's
when
the
the
biggest
Athletics
thing.
decided that he wasn't good enough to be an Athletic. What? You're
Yeah,
not good
stop
enough to be
motion.
an Athletic, and now you have 201 home runs as a Dodger? What are we doing?
Yeah, I think coming to LA really helped the dude out. Like you said, coming off the couch, essentially, he was entertaining, going and playing baseball in Japan or in the KBO. I forget which one, but of course, former Dodger GM turned now front office guy again for the Dodgers, Farhan Zaidi. He was like, I know this guy. Let's give him a flyer again. He signs with the team in 2017, plays at AAA the entire season, has a really nice year there. Comes up due to injuries, JT out early in the 2018 season, and Max Muncy has not looked back at all. We're talking about a scrap heap signing to, again, this is an arguable. I don't think he needs to be retired. I don't think, because we were talking about Justin Turner as a Dodger legend when he was still wearing Dodger blue, and it's now been 3 seasons.
To me, Justin Turner is a Dodger
and I
legend.
think to a degree, JT and Max Muncy are in that same conversation, in that same breath. We're talking about a dude now who's been a Dodger. He is the longest tenured position player on the team. He does, as you were mentioning, anything this ball club needs. In 2021, he was essentially going. He was a Gold Glove caliber first baseman for this team. Of course, has the devastating elbow injury. Shout out Jace Peterson for not knowing how to run down the line. And then just finding his way back, getting the swing back, and always finding ways to stay relevant. He's an OPS merchant, even if the batting average isn't always great. I mean, he's good for 30 bombs.
But he gets on base. He gets on base,
and he's great.
Maybe, Clint, maybe legend is a little bit strong. Maybe that adjective is a little bit strong, or noun, or whatever the hell it is. But what about the fact that perhaps he's one of the biggest impact players that the Dodgers have had in recent years? Certainly over the course of the years that he's been there, you're pretty much guaranteed to pencil in 30 home runs. What he does, I mean, when JT left, I mean, he kind of became the captain of the team in terms of the position players, in terms of keeping guys and holding guys accountable. Remember, it was Max Muncy that was the one that kind of rallied the troops in the postseason last year to say, hey guys, I know that we're husbands and fathers first, but for the next 3 weeks, let's just play for each other. Let's just, have this boys club and, have separate planes and all of the things. So maybe legend is a little strong. And some people in our chat were saying that the Dodgers legends are built on arms, but not bats. And okay, I get that with Koufax and Drysdale and Clayton Kershaw and all the things. And I get it and I can appreciate it. But Max Muncy has been one of the biggest impact players for this club since he has become a Los Angeles Dodger.
And overall, he's just a great dude, but also, Dodgers legends inherently are arms, but there are the Steve Garveys, there are the Ron Says, particularly in LA Dodgers, on the LA Dodgers side of the ledger. Of course, you have Hall of Famers, and we saw at the top of that list Roy Campanella, Duke Snider, those are outright legends, Jackie Robinson, those are Hall of Fame legends. But we're talking about the organization and what a player has meant over a stretch of time. That's where I could identify somebody as like, all right, you're at least entering that conversation of maybe somewhere down the road, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but maybe somewhere down the road they give him a little plaque there where they have it out in center field now to honor Dodgers legends. Because he's one of these guys, and they win another World Series, he's going to be a big part of that as well.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah. I think it depends on what they do this year. How many more? I mean, what does he have? 2 more years on his deal? A year on his deal?
There's a player or a team option, or it might be a mutual option after this year. It's only $10 million. Max will be back. He has said he's open to a bench role. He just wants to be with this team, and that's another thing that I think maybe just endears him to me even more, is that he's a guy who I want to be a Dodger no matter what. Same with JT. Obviously, it didn't work out.
Same with JT, but obviously Joe Kelly, all these guys want to be Dodgers forever. But I don't know. He's just been somebody that has put this team on his back in a lot of different situations, what he does in terms of the leadership role. And if he is a bench player next year, that's fine. But the leadership stuff's not going to end just because he's not an everyday guy and just because he's not playing at third base. So again, might be a little bit of a stretch, but I definitely love the impact that he's brought to this club.
It's conversation. Another guy who is an outright baseball legend. Let's talk about Shohei Otani, because guess what? He's pitching again, and it turns out he can also hit when he's pitching. He has himself a triple and a homer yesterday. But another one-inning outing for Shohei. Looked a lot better, in my opinion, in his own opinion as well. He said he felt a lot better. He has some things to work on, but I'm kind of shocked. It was just another one-inning outing. What'd you think of Shohei on the bump, and how is he supposed to continue to build up?
I was confused because I know I'm not great at math, but to me, 28 pitches in the first outing is more than 18 pitches in the second outing. I mean, I was thinking, is this reverse math, like reverse psychology here? What are we doing? I mean, obviously the Dodgers pitching staff, the Dodgers training staff, Shohei Otani, Dave Roberts, everybody has a plan for this. But I thought, in order to stretch him out, I thought that he would have to throw more pitches, but I don't know exactly how many pitches he's throwing in his side session. I don't know, exactly what he's doing in terms of his rehab and how his body felt after. Remember, you can throw all the simulated games you want. You can throw all the side sessions you want. We don't know how those 28 pitches in the first outing affected his body. You're throwing at a different intensity, a different form of adrenaline through all of those. So maybe, they felt, all right, we're going to scale it back a little bit. The fact is he still got the job done. He still looked great. And then he still drove in 55,000 runs. So Shohei Otani, however they decide that this is going to play itself out, I trust his process because it's never been done before. So you have to kind of trust what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it. As of right now, it's just bonus pitches for Shohei, or bonus outings for us, because we were anticipating him joining this team a month from now instead of now. So whatever they can get out of him to continue kind of building up, it's probably fine. One more thing before we do take a break. I wanted to talk about the Kike Hernandez pitching thing. Like it feels a little more gimmicky now than helpful.
I'm over it.
And I would say, look, him going out to the bullpen, I think Kike going out to the bullpen is where you kind of lose me. Now I don't know. He's trying to make it a show instead of just getting the job done, and he hasn't got the job done the last couple of outings. Yeah, and you're saying you're over.
I don't know that Kike's making it a show. I don't know that it's like, hey, let me go out there and warm up in the bullpen. I don't think the Dodgers are going to let
Dave didn't know. Dave did not know. That was Kike's decision to go out to the bullpen to warm up.
I mean, if that's the case, that's a little silly. I'm
nothing against Kike, but
I love Kike. Yeah. Position players pitching is annoying anyway, but they've done it when they've had the lead, and that's super annoying too. And now this going out to the bullpen does seem a little. You're the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're not the Savannah Bananas. You know what I mean? Like, and you would expect that type of stuff and those antics in a Savannah Banana situation, but not this. I mean, we're the Dodgers. Stop.
Yeah, as I say, our buddy, unsurprisingly, our buddy Richie Flores says, "For the love of God, no more Kike on the mound. Save us." I'll take him in a win, I guess. Vestiga was going to come into the game either way, apparently. But maybe we'll talk more about that another time. But we do have to take a break, hear from our friends at Foul Territory, and then Bill Shaikin is going to be joining us. So stay tuned.
FT fam, did you know that Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it is your turn to try it. While I drink it.
Drink up, Scott, so I can discuss Huel and how I love it. I had some for breakfast this morning. I like to drink it post-workout because of the protein included in it. It always tastes delicious, whether it's strawberry, banana, chocolate, vanilla, whatever the flavor is. It tastes like a dessert, honestly. It should not taste as good as it does.
I agree. New customers get 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use the FT code. That is FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com/foul. Don't miss out. Try Huel today for a perfectly balanced meal. If you miss a meal, if you're looking for a little protein boost, you just saw me drinking the black edition, ready to drink. There's the vanilla flavor. I love what the chocolate brings to the table. It's really damn good. So give it a shot, FT fam. 15% off plus a free gift for new customers with the code FOUL.
All right, we appreciate Huel being a part of the show. We also appreciate Bill Shaikin joining us, of course, longtime columnist, baseball writer for the LA Times, has covered the Los Angeles Dodgers for a very long time. Bill, great to be with you. We are almost halfway point of the Major League Baseball season. What is your grade so far for this club?
I guess with the Dodgers, you're always grading on that curve of expectations because it's not, is the team good this year? It's, are they going to win the World Series? So
Yeah.
right now, it's probably a B plus. They're a really good team. They're in first place in the toughest division of baseball. Do they look like they're going to win the World Series right now? Probably not, but the trading deadline hasn't come. We'll see what they do. We'll see what other teams do. And of course, for the Dodgers, it is always the story of injured pitchers and how they come back.
Yeah, that's a good question because we've had that conversation a lot here on the show. It's, are they going to kind of stand pat and wait for some of these guys to come back, or is it going to be more of a what Andrew Friedman does not want to do? And of course, he just dropped a column, I think, last week with words from Friedman about his still hope to not be active at the trade deadline. What is your baseball gut telling you about what this team will need to do in about a month and change?
I don't think they know for sure right now. And that's because, again, it's the injured pitchers. So when I talked to Andrew about this last week, I think the first thing a lot of fans think of is left field because the Dodgers are above average at every position offensively except left field. And they've given Michael Conforto a lot of runway, as Dave Roberts would like to say, and he just hasn't delivered. But, you know, they're still in first place, so there's still that chance. Ha-Seong Kim has given the Dodgers an incredible option to work guys all around the diamond because, of course, any Andrew Friedman team has guys that can play all around the diamond. So at least my sense from Andrew Friedman is they're not really interested in making a move in left field. Pitching, they want to see what happens with Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell. They think both guys can be back on the mound by the trading deadline, and I imagine that would give you a pretty good idea then of what you need to do. But, you know, when Andrew said in the offseason, we want to get enough pitching depth so we don't have to go out in the market in July, they don't know about that. And the other thing, and Andrew didn't talk as much about this, but you guys know, this was a bullpen that was supposed to be Blake Trinan, Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech at the back end. Kopech just came back. Trinan still out. Phillips out for the season. And then, of course, Tanner Scott, who they paid a lot of money to in free agency, has been healthy all year, hasn't been as effective as the Dodgers would have liked. And that's an area you can always get an improvement in at the deadline. There are always teams looking to trade relievers. So I would think pitching area for sure is where they'll focus.
Bill, you had said yourself that the NL West is the toughest division in baseball. Right now, the Dodgers hold a lead, albeit slight, of 3.5. Who is the biggest competitor in your mind, the biggest threat in the division, and furthermore, the biggest threat to them in the National League?
Well, as much as our friends in San Francisco are not going to want to hear this, I think the Padres are still the biggest threat. They were the biggest threat to the Dodgers last year. They were the best team the Dodgers played last October. But the Padres also are afflicted by pitching injuries, and they don't have the resources the Dodgers have to just go out and get whoever they want. AJ Preller has done a tremendous job in making trades. He is willing to give up a lot of top prospects, where Andrew Friedman and most guys in his position are not. But how many of those top prospects are left after the last couple of years? So I think for the Padres, Michael King is out with a pinched nerve. They don't know when he's going to come back. Yu Darvish has been sort of working to get back all season, but they have no idea when that might actually happen. If those guys are back, I think it's a much different decision in terms of who you like in the division, because right now, if the Padres are playing out the season with what they got now, with injured starting pitchers and getting no offensive contribution from left field and catcher, you got to say the Dodgers.
You know, we just saw a fairly spicy series between those two ball clubs here in Los Angeles. You know, we have a lot of conversation about Dodgers, Padres rivalry, and, you know, whatever side people fall on. It's either not a rivalry because it's not the Giants, or it is a rivalry because they actively hate each other right now, or at least they play it real well on TV. Shout out Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts in particular. But what is your thoughts? What are your thoughts on how the Dodgers-Padres rivalry has changed over the years, over the last half decade, and kind of shifted from the traditional Dodgers-Giants rivalry?
I think in the beginning it was sort of the Padres declaring that there was a rivalry before there actually was one. Just
fair.
Going out and spending money on a lot of players doesn't make it a rivalry. But when you have the kind of games that you mentioned, the teams have just played not only the past couple weeks, but for the past couple years, you get to meet in October. those are the kinds of things that make for a rivalry. And except for one fluke year, the Giants haven't been in October or anywhere close to it the last 5 years. People talk about the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Red Sox haven't been anywhere close to October for the most part over the last half a decade. The Dodgers and the Padres are the teams that have been going at it. And for my money, it's the best rivalry in baseball.
Shohei Otani, you know him very well because you certainly covered the Angels as well, and then you know Shohei from his time there. Bill, what's been the biggest change that you've seen between Anaheim Shohei and Los Angeles Shohei?
He just seems happier. I don't think that's any great observation on my part. I'm sure some of that is getting married, having a baby, Decoy the dog. That's all great stuff. But he was pretty clear in Anaheim that his first priority was to win. And as much as the Angels talked about how comfortable he was there, and he was, and who doesn't like living by the beach here in Orange County, he wanted to win. And the Angels weren't winning. They're not winning. They don't seem to give the impression that they're going to win in the near future based on how the team has been run lately. They've got some good young players, but as they found out when they had Ohtani and Mike Trout, it takes more than a couple guys to make a winner. Now he's on a team that wins every year, and he kind of likes it.
Winning is fun. Breaking news, winning is fun. We just learned from Bill Shaikin here on Dodgers territory. Bill, just before you joined us, we were talking about Kike Hernandez and position player pitching, and kind of, I don't know, there's a narrative that it's getting a little out of hand. I think my buddy Jeff Snyder says it, where MLB put a rule in which gives people the ability to use that rule where you can put a player in when you're up a certain amount or down a certain amount. What's kind of your taste on the position players pitching, and is it good for baseball, bad for baseball? What are your thoughts?
I think it's getting kind of tired. It was a novelty when we first had it because, oh my God, the team's losing 20-2, and look, the third baseman is pitching, and you never see that, but you see it all the time. And MLB did put in a rule about, all right, there has to be so big a margin in the game before you can even use a position player. But that hasn't stopped. And, it's kind of crazy. There were plenty of years where teams had 10-man pitching staffs and they didn't need to use position players. Now they've got 13-man staffs. And, of course, every team cycles guys between the minors and the majors much more rapidly than they ever would have back when there were 10-man staffs. And pretty much the only way you got sent up or down is if you got hurt or you just were, really awful. There's no need for that today. I mean, the Dodgers had a day off, right? The day after Kike pitched. Come on, yeah. Nobody can give you a meeting before a day off. You're not killing your bullpen.
Clayton Kershaw continues to be unbelievably impressive, regardless of whether he's an ace now or, the fourth guy on the staff. Bill, you've covered him his entire career. He's close to another milestone, achieving career strikeout number 3,000. How would you describe Clayton's legacy as a Dodger when he does finally retire? What will you remember about him the most?
I think just how serious he was. There are a lot of guys who you come in, and you guys have seen this too, they're happy, they're joking around, they're getting ready for the game in whatever way works for them, and not everybody can be the same way. But Clayton is just so dedicated into his routine every 5 days. It's not as if he just has his routine planned for the day that he starts. He's got it minute to minute planned all 5 days before the start. And he's done a lot of things I think people forget now that his career has gone so long that might not have been in the best interest of his career. And I bring it up only because we have had recently the stories about Rafael Devers and what he would or would not do for the Red Sox. And remember all those years in the playoffs when Clayton was pitching on 3 days rest to save the Dodgers? I mean, that wasn't the best thing for his career. Unfortunately, as we all know, the results were not the greatest most of the time. Fortunately for Clayton, he got through that. The Dodgers won the World Series. Then they won the World Series again. So no one, thank God, can ever say that, Clayton Kershaw somehow stood in the way of the Dodgers winning the World Series. But he gave everything he had. He continues to do that. And look, he was never blessed. I mean, he was not one of these 99-mile-an-hour fastball guys. He learned how to pitch. He got that great curveball, but, he struggled with his other pitchers over the years. He'll be the first to tell you that. And now he's pitching at a speed where most guys don't survive in Major League Baseball. And he's not only figured out how to do it, he's been pretty good at it. And that's an amazing tribute because, again, most guys don't last this long, and they certainly don't last this long changing up what they do midstream.
Yeah, 18th season in a Dodger uniform. Next stop for him when he's done is Cooperstown. Bill, before we let you go, I'm interested in your take because you cover all things, not just what's happening on the field. Mark Walter, the Dodgers' primary owner with Guggenheim, purchased the majority stake in the Los Angeles Lakers for the fine tune of $10 billion with a B. How, if at all, does that impact his ownership with the Dodgers?
I don't think it's going to impact it a whole lot. I think it's going to impact the Lakers a lot. Because one of the things we saw when Mark and his group bought the Dodgers was that, it wasn't like the Dodgers were terrible. They were pretty good, and they certainly needed some work. But the new ownership came in and said, we're going to watch and see what's happening here, and then we'll start making changes. So, as we all remember, Ned Colletti was the general manager then. First full season under Guggenheim, Ned's the general manager. They win the division. Things are pretty good, right? But in Mark Walter's world, we want to be the best that we can. And they spare no expense to not only put the best players on the field, but pay for the best executives, pay for the best clubhouses, pay for 2 team planes if the team wants that instead of 1, pay for nutritionists in the minor leagues when most teams would never have even thought of that. There's all sorts of stuff they do that costs money. It pays off, certainly. The Dodgers are not losing money. But I think what happened with the Lakers, and I'm sure Stan Kasten will be involved in some way. He was president of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Hawks at the same time. I'm sure, of course, Magic Johnson will be involved in some way. But I think you'll see a much bigger front office and also a much greater emphasis on people who are just the best in the business and not people who have been there the longest or have a relationship with the team. Because ultimately you want to win, and Mark's in it to win. And much to his credit, what he does is find the best people he can find. Dodgers were after Andrew Friedman for a while before they got him. Yeah. And give them the resources they say they need. And then as long as they're producing, stay out of the way. And I think we all know there are owners in sports who do not behave like that. They get involved in player personnel. They think they know which trades to make. And they don't want to fund things. I mean, here's something with the Dodgers that you guys have seen this year is the Dodgers called up guys from the minor leagues who they did not actually use. They called up guys to just sit on the taxi squad just in case they decided to put someone else on the injured list. There are many owners in all sports. So you'd say, yeah, boss, I want to pay a lot of money to fly these guys into town to sit there and maybe we'll use them and maybe we won't. That doesn't happen often, and it's to the Dodgers' credit that things like that. You hear about $700 million for Shohei Ohtani, but it's little things like that that help the Dodgers succeed day in and day out, and I'm sure you'll be seeing things like that with the Lakers.
We got a chat or a comment in our chat saying, can he also buy the Kings too? Let's do baby steps. Maybe 10 years down the road, Guggenheim and Mark Walter can buy the Los Angeles Kings. But Bill, we appreciate the time. Make sure you guys give Bill Shaikin a follow. Does a lot of great stuff over with the Los Angeles Times. But Bill, we appreciate the time. Hopefully we'll have you back on soon. Maybe celebrating World Series or something before trade deadline and all that kind of stuff. But guys, we have to hear once again from our friends at Foul Territory. So we'll be right back.
By now, you know about Arena Club. Buy, sell, trade, open up slab packs to get a card that you don't think you could get usually, but the Grails will tell you that, for example, there's an Aaron Judge rookie card in this week's slab packs, so make sure you check those out.
No doubt. Those are what you want, the Grails. Mm-hmm. Aaron Judge Grail is awesome, graded, traded if you want, tell you how much it's worth, whatever you want to do, and I'm a big Michael Jordan fan with my 23 shirt on. There's a Michael Jordan Grail in there that I'm looking forward to try to get.
20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul. Use code FOUL.
All right, time now to show you guys Trooper. Let me introduce you to this little guy. He's a 4-month-old lab mix. Unfortunately, he has a broken leg. We weren't sure how he broke his leg, but the good news is it's healing well and he's getting the proper medical condition or medical care rather. And he is so lovable and so happy and he's going to make a great family pet. We're looking for an adopter. Right now, he's being fostered in Orange County. So he is available to an adopter in Southern California. We're looking for an adopter and or donations. questions. We do need to get his medical taken care of for that broken leg, and he does need to get neutered. So if you're interested in learning more about Trooper, please hit me up on my social channels or Guidry'sGuardian.org for more information. Clint, that's a lot of great stuff from Bill Shaikin. We appreciate him coming on the show. A lot of information there. What's coming up on All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas?
Well, big news for the people who weren't around last week for my channel. I added a powerhouse. I'm calling him a powerhouse because I think he's hanging out with us here in the chat. But my friend Jeff Snyder, formerly of Locked On Dodgers, is now the official co-host with me on All Dodgers. Right. So I get to take a night off. He's going to be live later on tonight, and we're going to continue growing the great All Dodgers brand, or the All Dodgers brand. But tube in to check out Jeff. I might join, I might not, but you're still going to get plenty of me, plenty of Jeff, and all that kind of stuff. Friend of the show, friend of the network. He's been on this show filling in for you before. So tube in. He's probably live tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific time, for some off-day Dodgers talk. Dodgers off today, like I just said, and they start a series in the evil confines of Coors Field in Colorado, a ballpark I don't hate any ballpark more than I hate Coors Field, but the Dodgers, unfortunately, have to play there a few times a year. We have a Kershaw game in there, a Yamamoto game, and maybe a bullpen game against, all of Colorado's worst pitchers, which is literally anybody that pitches in Colorado. What do you need to see in this series?
Wow. I mean, I've been pretty rough on the Colorado Rockies, but you just went to town on them. You took them out behind the woodshed and just shot them all. So Colorado is a tough place to pitch. But here's my take on what I need to see in Colorado. We need to see Freddie, Mookie, and Teo get right. That's a great place to get right? That's a place that everyone is running to the bat rack, Clint. Like, everybody wants to get in that box and hit. It's not just the home runs. It's not just the air that's less dense. It's the fact that those gaps there are huge. There's a lot of extra base hit opportunities in Coors Field. So I'm going to say the Dodgers need a sweep because the Colorado Rockies are horrific. So they need to sweep. Freddie, Mookie, and Teo need to get right. And what is your prediction on the total number of runs between two teams over the 3-game series?
Let's just go insane. I'm going to say 45 runs between the two teams over these 3 games, because why not? That's probably too many. No, it's really. Coors. It's Coors. But I agree with you. We need to see some players find some grass. Some Dodgers players, top of the lineup, get right. This is a get right. This is your practice girl right here. Go get right, boys. And then Kansas City, you get right again. Although Kansas City a lot better than the Colorado Rockies. But then again, I might be able to put together.
This is like your starter marriage, your first marriage, like your starter house before you move into your dream house. Oh, am I the only one that did that? Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. All right,
I don't
guys,
have that experience.
Yeah, because you refuse to get married, but whatever. All right, don't forget.
Marriage is the leading cause of divorce.
That is true. Yes. Dodgers Territory, we have a store. Get the merch, you guys. Go to DodgersTerritoryShop.com. Click the store button here on YouTube. Support the show in style. Support those that support us. We appreciate it very much. You're going to look so classy in the Dodgers Territory gear. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, Clint and I are back tomorrow night. Rockies and Dodgers, game 1 of that 3-game series. Clint and I are doing post-game tomorrow after the game. Bring a friend. Subscribe, all the things. We will see you tomorrow. Go Dodgers.
Bye.